Is it a bird?
Not this fucking time. No! No, 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 no!
Is it a plane?
No.
Is it Terry Hatcher from Lois and Clark?
What you working on?
Oh no, it's Rachel Zegler.
I had no idea what I was auditioning for when I auditioned. So it's a kind of a hilarious question to say, like, what drew you to the material is that, like, I didn't realize that I was reading lines with Dopey. It said, like, Jeff and Amy were reading lines. And then our director, Mark Webb, on Zoom was like, you know, and then Dopey's gonna look at you and whistle. And I took a pause and realized what I was auditioning for. And then it became like, I will elbow everyone out of the way to play that part.
No! God, please, no! No!
Oh, I can't wait. This is going to be such a great video, boys and girls.
Are we enjoying Comic-Con today?
Yeah! We flew in from North America for this!
She's the most powerful woman in the universe. Here we go again, folks. It's another episode of Rachel Zegler Says It Like It Is.
Hunger Games. We were living in Dusseldorf and I was able to take the train.
Now, judging by Rachel's physical emaciated state, shouldn't there be Hungry Games? Because Rachel, love, you need to eat. You look anorexically terrible.
To Paris from Dusseldorf, and it only took like 4 hours, and it was
I bet she's got halitosis as well.
amazing. We went to Disney. I'm going to Disney today with my publicist Ashton, who everybody knows and loves. She's the best. I think the reason I'm homesick.
Oh, the same Ashton who writes down your script about your activist points of view, so you get them across. I will come back to that point later on, folks. It gets very juicy.
There's a couple reasons. Obviously, it's hard to be away from home as often as I am in the profession that I'm in because we're always away from home.
She sniffs like a porn star. Have you ever seen a porn star when they're doing their thing on screen? They always go, you missed a spot, Rachel.
It's funny, with me, I don't realize that I've been in a depressive episode until I'm starting to come out of it. And I think I started to come out of it like a week before I ended up leaving.
Oh, so when she gets a depressive episode, folks, she comes out with complete drivel and diatribe and verbal diarrhea. And of course, if you go to Miss Zegler's Twitter account, what does she have? Not just her name, all in lowercasing, which is terrible, by the way, but apparently she's her, and hers.
Hi guys, I'm Lenny Panzica. I'm principal designer of the G.I. Joe Classified series, and I go by he, him pronouns.
You can have two. Fuck and you.
Yeah, this gets very, very interesting, folks. So November the 17th, everyone hungers for something. Get it? Because it's the Hunger Games. I mean, look, the ones with Jennifer, oh, I did everything else before every other female, Lawrence, were bad enough. And by the way, an absolute ripoff of Battle Royale. But that's another video for another time if I decide to make it. But you know I'm speaking the truth, right, folks? And if you like this video, make sure to hit the subscribe button and make sure you like the hell out of it. So we've got this film that's coming out with somebody that looks like Joseph Gordon-Levitt, but I don't think it's actually him. And then, of course, Rachel Zegler. This is her crimes against, or one of her crimes against humanity, it seems, responds to the angry backlash she received after she was cast as Snow Dark in the upcoming movie starring 7 diversity rejects from HR. And I've got to give you some free advice here, ladies and gentlemen. If you're seeking out a career, don't make it HR. It is one of the most volatile, toxic environments you can ever be in. I should know. I've worked in it at least 3 times. And every time I've been in it, it seems like I just don't get my own message or take my own advice. So, oh boy, just a little food for thought there, like EB40. Never in a million years did I imagine that this would be a possibility for me. You don't normally see Snow Whites that are of Latin descent. And speaking of descent, I'm watching Neil Marshall's The Descent later on. Looking forward to that. Now, I thought Zegler was actually an already established actress, but she's not. She's a singer by trade. And boy, oh boy, we'll get to that cat wailing in a minute as well. But if you go over to IMDb, what films has she actually starred in? Well, 7 by the looks of it. We already talked about The Hunger Games, Snow Mochaccino coming out next year, Spellbound, Y2K, and Paddington in Peru. So I'm pretty sure she'll feel right at home there. And that's it. So I wanted to check her out to see what her vocal chops are like. And here we are. Miss Zegler doing a cover version of Shallow, made famous by Lady Gaga from A Star Is Born. And I think Gaga obviously does the better version. But let's have a listen to this amazing singer with no makeup on, wearing a Sloppy Joe's outfit on.
In all the good times I find myself longing for change. In all the bad times I find myself.
Oh boy, I'm not sure if I would like to hear Rachel singing or Awkwafina from The Little Mermaid.
Remember my song in the swamp when I was like, whap, chicka, whap, whap, chicka, whap.
No, you know what? I'll take a hit for Zegler. Just this once. Yeah, I mean, she's in a hotel room. She's warbling away because she's an established singer from a privileged background. She dressed up as Snow White when she was a little girl. I'm sure there are some gay guys who also dressed up as Snow White when they were little boy girls, but they don't go around prancing about it, do they? Of course, now we do get to the situation of the Hollywood strikes that are happening right now, which is absolutely hilarious. Believe it or not, and actually, you know what? I'm going to hold that point until I get to the main reaction video that I want to talk about. But here from WGTC, Rachel says, "What happens to my tireless crew?" She highlights a harsh reality many are forgetting as SAG strike begins. This article, of course, is from the 13th of July this year. And of course, you know, when she's talking about her crew, it's the makeup artists, it's the cameramen and women, basically all the people behind the scenes who make her look good. That's what I'm talking about, right? So if Rachel wants to go on this little diatribe about, well, actually, I really do stick up for my crew and I love them to bits, she's no Keanu Reeves. Mr. Reeves has been known to give Rolex watches to his crew. He even helped out a member of one of his stunt team that was falling on hard times. He gave him half of his salary. Which film star do you hear about that actually makes these kind acts of incredible gestures that, you know, it might be your gateway into heaven, Mr. Reeves. You're just an infallible dude and we all love you. But you never hear about Rachel Zegler doing anything from the kindness of her own heart. Yes, she's only 22, yet even I find that hard to believe she's only 22. So, Zegler baby, she needs to eat. I want to see her become like Selena Gomez, who used to be skinny, then she became a bit portly and people kind of like her. I don't mind Miss Selena Gomez. Yes, she dated Justin Bieber for a while, but unlike Harry Styles with Taylor Swift, I think Miss Swift is the reason why Harry Styles cross-dresses like a woman now. So we'll give Bieber a pass for ditching Miss Gomez. I'll give him a pass on that one. But of course now, we do get to the video that has sent the internet into an absolute frenzy. It's only 8 seconds long, but it's probably the best 8 seconds you'll ever hear, or maybe close your ears to. Are you ready?
3, 2, 1.
If I'm going to stand there 18 hours in a dress of an iconic Disney princess, I deserve to be paid for every hour that it is streamed online.
So what she said was, if I'm going to stand there for 18 hours in an iconic princess dress, you're going to pay me for every hour this is streamed. So Rachel, are you telling me that if I react to this video that you need to get paid? Well, listen, hun, I can't afford to pay you your exorbitant fees because I'm not an actor, or if I was transgender, an actress. And this is a disappointing thing to see with modern day Hollywood. Of course, I've spoken about Gen X before, my generation. Rachel Zegler is playing a Gen Z princess because that's what we want. In 2024, Snow Mochaccino and her 7 diversity idiots from the HR department are coming to a screen near you. And what's even more disturbing, I actually said in my previous video about Snow Darker, is that, well, they're going to shrink these actors on the green screen and they'll be tiny. Apparently, no, they're going to be their respective sizes that we saw in that photograph, which I thought was, well, hilarious. Thank you, Disney, for giving me the hits. But going back to my point here, why I do find the state of Hollywood so disappointing right now. Because back in my day, in the 80s, when there was no internet around, and you had BJ and the Bear, and you had Tiswas, and you had the A-Team, and Knight Rider, Magnum, all these great shows. And in between, you'd have this respite called Film Review Magazine. You'd have iconic covers with Matthew Broderick as Ferris Bueller, or Mel Gibson from Lethal Weapon. Just really good poses on the front covers. And you just get, you'd be fascinated because as a teenager, you're not an actor. You might have aspirations to become one day, but for the time being, you just want to look at the pin-up star, hear what they've got to say. And that was a faraway world in a faraway time, and it felt good. You were fascinated. But with the advent of social media and what is given to us, it's kind of a dangerous thing now. It's kind of giving us carte blanche to become friends, if you like, or acquaintances with these actors and actresses. I mean, I'm Frank Grillo's friend on Facebook, but Frank Grillo and I have never ever interacted with each other online because he doesn't know me, but he's accepted me as a friend. He never responds to my posts. I respond to some of his. I think Grillo's an awesome guy, actually. In my opinion, he would have made a good Punisher as well. And he's based as hell. But Rachel Zegler, an entitled activist who obviously gets her lines fed to her by Ashton, her awesome publicist, because it is a fake world, ladies and gentlemen. I'd rather be in Barbie world right now. At least with what you get there is basically what's said. It's a fake world with pretend teacups and pretend waffles. But this twat waffle here, Miss Zegler, needs to zip her mouth up, because all I'm saying is, if this is the representation of Hollywood going forward, it's going to be a bad time. I mean, I'm glad she is getting the absolute shit ripped out of her. I mean, wow. I mean, why does she think she's entitled? Why is she standing up for 18 hours a day? Well, actually, that might explain why she's so emaciated. Well, Rachel Honey, who stands in her high heels in an 18-hour-a-day dress for an iconic princess from Disney, I used to work on the front door as a security guard, a door supervisor, a meet and greeter. I thought there was an actual, a door host. That's what they called it back in the day, because they wanted to strip away the masculine moniker of being a doorman, wearing knuckle dusters and punching people's faces in. If you're a door host like me, so think of me as the precursor to Chris Tucker in Rush Hour. And speaking of which, I've got a whole lot of Jackie Chan films to talk about one day, because Jackie Chan, he's my favorite action hero. He's a guy that you look to who just makes entertaining movies. He's a big influence on Tom Cruise when you think about it. But yes, while Jackie Chan may have some very oddball political opinions outside of movies, when he's in a movie, he just focuses on that like a laser, and that is it, which I absolutely appreciate, and I wish more actors and actresses can be like him, but I guess we're not going to see that anymore for the time being. But honestly, when I hear people like Rachel talking about how bad they've got it, yeah, Rachel, honey, I used to be a door host many, many years ago at Planet Hollywood, when it used to be absolutely a great place to work for. And sometimes I might be called upon by my managers to work a 14-hour plus shift, which meant I'd start from 10 in the morning, wouldn't get back home until 2 in the morning. But before that, I'd have a few drinks with some of the waiters and waitresses and some of the bar staff, make my way home. Then I'll come back up the next day for a 10 o'clock start. and work until 6 that following evening. And what did I earn per week? Probably about £300 a week, which is probably what I get about now, actually. So blame that on the cost of living. But I loved my job. It was great back then. And getting weekly paid was a privilege. Some people have to wait at least a month to get the money. And then when it all comes in, it all goes out on bills and food. And you can't do much else. Anything left over, you might be able to buy yourself a nice DVD or a copy of FHM magazine. I'm going back here to, well, not to the 90s. I guess I probably am in that respect. But you get my drift. I mean, obviously, those times were then. Now it's all different. And Rachel has the gall, the audacity to moan about her privilege as a Latina princess who's going to get completely laughed off the screen next year in Snow Darker and those 7 idiots in their pride hats. And you know what? I have to say at this moment in time that, you know, I've given Leslie Grace some shit because she's in a similar predicament as Rachel, where they're both singers becoming actresses. But at least with Leslie Grace, she kind of knows her limitations. And yeah, the Batgirl film has been buried 6 feet under. Thanks, Zaslav. I could have done with the good laugh. And you know what? That film, if they had released it, might have been better than The Flash. But I guess we'll never know. So ladies and gentlemen, if you enjoyed this video today about Rachel Zegler and her absolute entitlement, please leave a like below. Please hit that subscribe button.
Magic mirror on the wall. Who is the fairest one of all?
Lips red as the rose. Hair black as ebony. Snow White.
Listen up, meatheads. If I were you and you were me, you better come back for Jason King on Kung Fu Hot Dog. Got that?